Hello everyone, this is Cookies. I've got turn 13 of, I think this is game 9. We got a few more messages. Came into this game thinking I'd do anything possible to prevent Yes setting up on my shore. However, I asked Machaka last turn for a nap and was met with silence. They were not amused a few turns earlier when I expanded past the border region. But to be fair, I basically cleared Indies for them and they did not pay anything. Well, they didn't want you to clear the Indies, they wanted the experience for their spiders. Uh, Anyways, given the army I saw and my suspicion they have naps with both neighbors, it seemed an attack was imminent. So instead I napped Yes and will be satisfied with strong borders on shore. And hopefully they'll take some edge off the Hellbless spider invasion. I mostly predicted the attack on my swamp and basically all into my defense. It worked out, which I'm very happy about. 700 gold in sacreds versus minimal losses for myself. However, I expected to be happier if that battle went my way. Instead, I find double the spiders I killed on my southern flank, and the barbs I wanted to buy went over to Machaka instead. I'm not sure how much they paid for them, but I guess my 189 was a bit stingy. I think my expansion is better, and my scales are better, so the attrition game should be fine. I just hope I don't lose so much I get eaten by a bigger fish before I stop Machaka. Normally I would want to counterattack, but I think my troops in as Hellblast means I'm forced to keep defending the swamp. I may try to see if I can at least do one small raid with some Emerald Guard. Okay. Oh, I also forgot to mention, it's kind of hilarious I got a hero with a giant sling weapon, which actually ended up being pretty relevant in this first war. Yeah, he went ham in that battle. Alright. And Agartha. Holy shit. Well, I guess better to learn that lesson now than in even a bigger fight later. I really did not expect my Sacres to perform so abysmally versus the Morvark Knights. Evaluating the battle, it's not that I didn't have a chance. I just surrounded the Morvark Knights when the HP route started. But a chance is a terrible number when you have well more than twice the investment in a battle than the opponent. My biggest problem, however, is that today I learned that Spirit Sight has no effect on Glamour. That is true. The mirror image effect, if you look at the description for mirror image, or you just have Chris Lighthawk tell you, it specifically says that Spirit Sight has no effect on it. I was expecting that to be a huge leveler between my statues and the Morvark Knights, which is the one reason I was okay not specifically counter-picking a Bless against them. A bit of Fire Res would have won me that fight. I've been looking into what could have won me that battle, and I hate that the answer is Earth Grip. I hate that spell. Earth Grip, yeah. I also think the Boulder guys could work. It gets squishy. Human Earth Mage is dead if you set them on advancing casts, as they insist on moving up near the battle line instead of buffing or even using Holy Magic. But it is Alt 1 and the only counter within my very, very limited research potential. Pelagia seems to want to avoid conflict. Or Oceania? I am uncertain if he is at peace with Machaka or not. I need to talk to more players more regularly. I haven't had time for the outreach, and I really need to be doing... I haven't had time for the outreach I really need to be doing. But if he is serious, he intends to back off and let me have the province. He volunteered. I did not ask. That indicates to me he is already at war or planning to be at war with someone. For me, this loss puts any plans for an offensive way back. That was more than half my effective army. I've been lax in raising chaff from my unforded caves. I'm going to be correcting that. I'm also taking the time off research again to summon a few sentinels. If they aren't needed, I'll make it up later. If they are, I'm going to need them right away. At least without supporting chaff, I should be able to get a surround. At least with supporting chaff, I should be able to get a surround on the surviving Morvark Knights if they attack. or more importantly, the actual Morvarks. Past the initial impact, they did way more damage than the Knights. Diplomatically, yes, is very worrying. Jotunheim is also going to become very worrying, but for the moment, they had to sacrifice a lot of expansion to make their attack on Naba. If only I could capitalize. All right. And then we have some fights. So Pyrene is expanding. All right, we got the full... Oh, it's just a bunch of blowpipes. Let's see how this Horde of Indies does. All right. So loses 20 of the spearmen, which is a little bit shocking. And then we've got a bevy of Yiss attacks, including several on Machaka, so he's going further inland now. All right, so we have Indies, not Indies, PD, and PD. So if Machaka thought this was going to be a limited war versus Yes, he's definitely wrong. Yes, showing up with that looter mindset, just going in. Now, to be fair, no one's really done anything to stop him or give him pause either. So, why not? There we go. Alright, more Knights go burr. And then we've got Yes attacking a few independents here. Some pretty nice scripting having the Macemen come in and fill in. Alright. So, we'll see how this goes. So, yes, still expanding now, just more into players. Shinyama goes ahead and kills a pretty light indie group. And then Agartha attacks Yes in Korean, so he wants to try and get this province back. It's a very small raid. Okay. And it should succeed. And then Jotunheim, and I do see that battle in Nabab. Maybe it's a ping, but alright, I don't think we need to watch that. Is Nabab? Yeah, he's just pinging. Okay. Seeing who's still home. In Trotten, loses a militia but kills, I don't know, maybe some stuff that retreated. And then we've got Pythium attacking Druidland, trying to set the boundary. It looks like. Small Emerald Guard raid. And then the Afroy go ahead and expand. All right, let's go ahead and take a look here. So not a lot of cave expansion yet, and partially that's because the player combat has started so early. Yes has a full cave. Agartha's got 2 provinces. Shinyama's got 2 provinces. Now, looking at Machake, or I guess this column's in pretty dire straits. So, yes, just makes red arrows to the right. We do have a group of spiders in the cap. It looks like whatever was here has pulled back in or gone here. He's got a large army, mostly these mercs. So 50 of these 100 is barbarians. And then we've got a lot of black hunters. A new army has left the cap, or I guess we've got a couple of Pythium armies here trying to set up shop. Shinyama takes a border province that now they get to see the Machaca flag here. Although that doesn't necessarily indicate that someone's fighting unless people have been talking to each other. But yeah, Machaca is probably in some pretty serious money states. They might not be able to recruit too much this turn. What is this? This is 80. There's a bunch of unrest here. Oh, he's got plague. All right. Yeah, 189 corpses too. So this is 100 gold, 500, 600, 700. So he's getting maybe 800 income. This is cut off. So pretty effective little raid here. And then yes, eating a bunch of his income and a bunch of his resources. So I'm not convinced he can do full cap rec this turn. He can probably do some of it, but maybe not full cap rec. So he's going to have to make some moves here. I think the biggest thing would be putting Yes back in the pond. He needs to be able to kill off some of these Morvark squads. Maybe that would get Yes to fuck off. But it's going to be tough because it's a 2v1. But like if this had instead been 3 different raiding groups that protected each of these, that, you know, where maybe they web the Morvarks and then they eat the Morvarks with their death poisons. Maybe that would work, and then you get all this income back, and then you can focus on Pythium. And then maybe there's some Diplo you can do with like Shinyama against Pythium. Or Pyrene even. So, I mean, you've got some natural allies here as well. Jotunheim, meanwhile, still has Naba under siege. The fort is not cracked. It's a huge fort. It's 1500 wall integrity, which is kind of crazy. Naba can collect income still with sheiks. He's got this lab here, so if he did some site searching here, he could get gems. But it's pretty rough. And I think pretty soon here, Jotunheim's, although he's just moving hurlers and stuff down to Naba's cap. I think Jotunheim could have taken a few troops and maybe finished a little bit of expansion. And then we see here, yes, expanding over to this cave province in the swamp, but he's almost certainly going to attack to backfill Kareen. I just don't know if he's going to have more troops to backfill Kareen. It's definitely fun. It's fun seeing games that have looters in them because they just break a lot of the kind of like built up norms on this server. So seeing Yes just attacking 2 players at once, getting all over the place is kind of fun. Although I'm sure the other players don't appreciate it. Let's see. Yeah, and I think that's most of it for this turn. I don't think a lot of other player combat has gotten going. It looks like this group has doubled in size, so that's probably good. Still think the Boulder guys would be a good pick. All right. And let's go ahead and jump into the next turn, turn 14. Okay, so turn 14 was one of the turns that I'm missing. So unfortunately, I do not have turn 14. You can see the stale notification here. So I imagine maybe we missed a battle or something, maybe between Pythium and Machaca, or Machaca and Yes. But we'll have to see how things look after we take a look at this. We do get a message from Pythium. My position feels a bit awkward because I'm opposite of the 2 players that seem the biggest threat, Yes and Jotun. I hear Jotun has crippled Naba, but I really have no line of attack, so they're out of my hands. Shame my 2 natural allies had to fight each other. Shenu seems too weak to do much, and I don't think Pyrene can either. At the same time, my deal with the devil is coming due. Yes is growing and much more than me. I've set a ceasefire with Machaca, so they can focus on countering yes and saving their capital, but it also means I don't have much to gain here. I'm not sure yes can finish Machaca, but if they consume their whole cap circle, it leaves me in a tough spot. Jotun and Agartha are the ones who should be countering yes, but Agartha gave up their whole coastline, and Jotun is too preoccupied with Nabha to do anything themselves. Yeah, he might not know that Agartha lost half their army there. We'll see. Until capitals are taken, I feel the momentum can swing unpredictably. For now, my plan is to build up infrastructure and take thrones and caves. Hopefully I don't lose the game by being conservative. Alright. I think finishing expansion is good. Alright. I expected something more from Nabha's break siege attempt. I sort of knew he had Brown's Colossus from his Blessed Scales, so this is fine. The thing is, I can't kill Brown's guy when he is buffed, but neither can he kill my sacreds effectively. So I just need the combat to reach round 100 for the Twilight, and then his god is dead. I'm sort of irritated I moved my forces from the cap, because if I stayed last turn, this is exactly what would have happened. Oh no. Alright, so we missed Nabha freeing their capital, it sounds like. Oh well, again, rather be safe than sorry. I've seen too many times now how unexpected cap siegers died to some thug shenanigans. But I'm confident now that I could handle them, so I'm moving back to the cap to finish Nabha off for good. To other matters, I still haven't even started constructing a fort, and it's turn 14. It's not that bad, because right now I cover my army needs from cap sacreds and province rec, but I basically zero research. My priority now will be building labs and pumping Veti hags like crazy. Even though I bumped Oceania's opportunistic sacred stack and wiped it, we are good and have an EP3. I paid him 500 gold for timeless waste and assured he could safely take farmland on the coast. That's a lot of gold to pay for a wasteland. I guess he really wants the gem income. Yes is problematic and he irritates Agartha. Oceania and Pythium. Oh, sorry. Yes is problematic and he irritates Agartha, Oceania, and Pythium because he basically takes all of Machaca when Pythium is doing the heavy lifting. I'm not sure if I would say that. He was doing raiding. Machaca chose not to fight back there. Hopefully we could coalition him sometime soon and push fishies back to the seas. Okay. So first up, we have some more mercs killing some shamblers. Ping. Thrums herding's killing some knights. They should be pretty decent at that. We have the battle going back on Nabha. Let's see how this goes. Alright, here we go. This might be our first popcorn fight. So the Bronze Colossus is here. No weapon, which is just a crying shame that he's trying to rely on a fist. And then, but he is up at 33 protection with 182 hit points. Malika has no gems to maybe even help with fatigue reduction even. We've got a few Janguard with their pretty light bless, chakras, and reinvigoration. I mean, they've got glamour, which is nice, but they're not, with this bless, they're not that much better than the Adites. Maybe they have a better shield. No, it's the same shield. Alright. See, and then we have some Ulf Hedden. A long line of Thrumserdings. We got the Prophet here. There's the Bless again. And we've even got a few of the National Long Dead, which have 23 damage spears, so they're really fun. Alright, so let's go ahead and watch the battle. This is the profit back here. Big shockwaves. Oh, whoops. I did not mean to hit that hotkey. Alright, let's speed this up a little bit. I'm not sure if Jotunheim's going to make it to round 100. Maybe this guy wasn't showing Shockwave in the last battle, or last turn. That was a lot of friendly fire. Oh my goodness. Kills the enemy prophet, wins the battle. Even buffs himself. Alright, this is a huge fight, because this ruins all of Jotunheim's momentum. He loses 16 sacreds, which is just over half. Let's see. Loses his prophet. Does kill the Nabah prophet. Kills 12 of the Janguard. The PD contributed a little bit. But yeah, Nabah's cap is free, so maybe he can start raiding back territory. Alright, in Cavern of Tog, 14 wet ones, they kind of suck, so this makes sense. We can watch it, just to kind of see the bloodbath for what it was. Yeah, that was close, wasn't it? Is he gonna win because of the mage? That's funny. Alright. And then in Gulf Halas, let's see. Oh, this might be fun. These are probably some of the harder indies that are still left, or the most inconveniently located indies. I think in this case it's inconvenience, because like Cav are pretty bad. Alright. And let's see, so that was this one. Then we've got Yes attacking Machaka in Ulstenrad. It's a lot of Ichthids. Now, Ichthids can be interesting because they've got a net on some of them. So we'll see if that impacts anything or if they just get massacred. Part of it is fairly high strength, and this net can be negated by larger strong beings. So I think a lot of the nets are just getting negated. I wonder if Ichthids would have done better in Dom 5. One of the guys did get a net over him briefly, but yeah, these Ichthids just kind of got slaughtered. Alright, so kills all that, including the PD. Then Jotunheim attacks Stalepa, pings it, and just sees how many barbs. And then in Swandi, we've got Machaka attacking Yes. This is a huge spider group, but they don't find anything. And then in Glistening Dew Forest, Machaka attacks with another spider group and doesn't find anything. Then in Stalagmia, let's see, Shinyama just kind of cleaning up indies. Nabat attacking Jotunheim in Rainy Glen. Oh, we've got one of our first camel squad raids. And this is my preferred way to use camels. Just get them in there while the birds are helping harass. Okay. So loses one camel, kills a fair amount of PD. Ooh, and then we get a fairly big indie fight. So Pythium's going after this throne here. So he's got a line of Emerald Guard and then a block of Velite. Some Serpent Cataphracts, a lot of different squads, it looks like. Mages are kind of scattered around. Are there flyers? No, just a lot of indie squads, but maybe we'll get some elementals. It's like mostly, like, this guy maybe doing small air elementals could kill a mage or two. But overall, not seeing much here that should be a cause for concern. I think he should take this pretty handily. Some group luck and fanaticism. Oh, those are big falling fires. Alright, we're gonna focus up here. Indy's actually getting pretty good use out of the drakes, which is funny. Alright, and the Serpent Cataphracts are back here trying to kill mages. Alright. So, here we go. Loses a fair amount of stuff. Yeah, 23 of the Velitates, the two Falling Fires did a lot. So this Wizard of Fire and Flame, by far the most productive out of the Indies. And then the Fire Drake got 8, the Ice Drake got 2. Alright, let's go ahead and see the map. So, Agartha expanding out from their fort down here, making some progress through the caves. Shinyama making some cave progress as well, finds a great gold mine down here, apparently. And then, yeah, I think that's most of it. I don't think a lot changed over the turn we missed. Let's take a look at Machaka. Alright, so we've got a lot of Morvarks here in Cliff Coast. Okay, I'm back. Alright, so yeah, we got a lot of Mormarks here in Cliff Coast. Looks like Machaca's making progress on their cap circle. I do think we missed a Machaca army dying, because this looks... I think there was some army over here, and there was an army here, and it looks like it died somewhere. I don't know where, but it does look dead. 23. Yeah, I thought he might have had more great spiders too. I'm not sure. It looks like Yes has made it into his lake, which is the worst feeling in the world when Water Nation makes it into your lakes, and then now you have to try and get them out again. Pythium's enjoying the peace. They've taken the inner throne, so 3 blood slaves, 1 earth gem. And yeah, they've got a full border here and a full border here, a full border here, and half a border here. Honestly, they've gotten so much of the borderlands, they can afford to wait a little bit, especially if they take some of these caves. Although they have to actually get in there, and they might not. No, they still have some opportunities. There's still 8 provinces they could get to, but Agartha and Shinnu are working their way through the caves. They've got, let's see, they've got this fort up. So, and it's being upgraded. Although I'd be a little nervous with Yes building a fort right next door. And then, yeah, let's go ahead. The next one I want to see is Nabah. So Nabah freed their cap. Pretty bloody battle for Jotunheim here. And they took Rainy Glen, which cut off a fair bit of income for Jotunheim. Additionally, a fair number of these Thrums herdings retreated into these 2 provinces. With the prophet dead, I don't think there's a way for Jotunheim to bless these Thrums herdings. So there's very solid potential for Nabah to kill a bunch of these sacreds without them getting blessed. They might not even have leadership, so you might be able to just attack straight into them. There is one goad who could bless, I guess, and one Gija. Oh, this is a different goad. That's too far away. Alright, so the goad went here. So this is a group that can move. Now he might try to move this group. Do they have mountain survival? Forest survival. Oh, okay, so he might be cut off. So maybe I think what I would do is maybe try to patrol the cab, make sure that doesn't get put under siege again, but send the Pretender to Winter Peaks. And it looks like maybe the Gidja died in the retreat, or it's also here. And I would try to kill this big block of Thrums herdings. I mean, how many can it be? 12? Up to 12? Okay. But maybe there were some raiders down here that we didn't see because we're missing that turn. Okay. Pyrene is feeling very pinned in, it looks like, and they've still got some expansion to do against the Bone Tribe. So we'll have to see how they do. And then Shinyama is building a lot of kappas to go get this lake. It is worth getting. You know, you got a coral reef here. Water gems are nice. I think Shinyu gets some water gem summons. Maybe it's just more kappa. I don't know. Throne of Earth got pinged by Shinyu. That's a lot of stuff, but it is worth getting because I mean, he might not know that it's the Throne of Earth, but gnomes are really nice. And yeah, let's see. And then we've got Agartha. So Agartha's managed to hold on to Kareen. I don't know where these Morvarks went. Or maybe they stealthed under. Maybe they're just leaving Agartha alone and they stealthed under and went and took Goodwater. That could be. But yes, having two forts up on the coast here, and there's another fort going up here on Cliff Coast, means that there's going to be a lot of pressure potentially from Yes onto Agartha. He's building another fort here in Iskapine. Ooh. Agartha's not yet had a chance to fort the Tower of the Golden Order. If Yes gets this, though, that would be very bad for Agartha. And he knows what it is because he sees the Adept here now. But maybe Yes will be too distracted with Machaka. Hmm. All right. Then what's Oceania up to? We've got a large, basically all their sacreds, minus a few over here. And then where are they going? Are they thinking about maybe going and taking the Boss Cap or this farmland here? I'm not sure. Are they gonna go attack Jotunheim over here? Huh. All right. Well, I mean, we'll have to try and get our context back, but yeah, I'm almost at 40 minutes, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut it off here. Let's see if there were any dips last turn in the army graph. Yeah, so Machaka lost some stuff. And Shinyama lost a bunch of stuff. So they must have lost maybe like an expansion party or something, or a bunch of mercs. They did hire the Elephant Corps. Okay. But yeah, I'll go ahead and see you guys in the next one. Have a good one.